So today we're going to take a look at some of the most impactful players from the 1996 NBA draft. Welcome to Fleece TV. Let's get it. Allen Iverson. The first pick in the 96 draft, Allen Iverson was a unique player who left his mark on the NBA on and off the court. Iverson led the league in scoring with 31.1 points per game in 2000-2001, where he carried the Philadelphia 76ers to the NBA Finals against the Los Angeles Lakers. While Philly lost the series, AI dropped an impressive 48 points on Kobe and Shaq during Game 1, where he had the iconic step over on Tyrone Lue. Despite being an 11-time All-Star, a 4-time scoring champion, and a 2001 MVP, it was his trend-setting style and infamous practice speech that cemented Iverson as one of the most influential players in NBA history. Largely credited with bringing the hip-hop culture to the NBA, Iverson had the cornrows and the tattoos all over his body, which, for better or worse, led to the David Stern dress code. Iverson played 14 years in the league with another major stint on the Denver Nuggets before being inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2016 and being named to the NBA 75th anniversary team. Marcus Camby. The 1996 Rookie of the Year Damon Stoudemire served as the centerpiece for the Toronto Raptors, who won just 21 games in their inaugural season. Selecting center Marcus Camby as the second overall pick was an obvious move since Stoudemire needed to be paired with a big man. Known for his defensive presence, Camby had several successful years in the league before injuries turned him into a barely used role player during the latter years of his career. He would only play for 2 seasons in Toronto before being traded to the New York Knicks during the 1998 draft in exchange for Charles Oakley. Camby played a pivotal role for the Knicks, where they became the first AC to make it to the NBA Finals before losing to the San Antonio Spurs as a result of star center Patrick Ewing's injury during that year's playoffs. During his 17-year career, Camby reached the 1999 NBA Finals with the New York Knicks and even won the 2007 Defensive Player of the Year award as a member of the Denver Nuggets. Stephon Marbury. Selected by the Milwaukee Bucks and shipped to the Minnesota Timberwolves, Stephon Marbury averaged 15 points and 7 assists his rookie year. The point guard athletic forward duo of Marbury and Garnett led the Wolves to the postseason for the first time in franchise history, but then rumors swirled that Kevin Garnett's role as the franchise player did not sit well with Marbury, as he saw himself as deserving of that spotlight. The problematic point guard would find himself traded to the New Jersey Nets. A Brooklyn native, it was much closer to home that Marbury would shine, becoming an NBA All-Star in 2001. Phoenix moved on from Marbury, sending him to the Knicks, where he clashed with head coach Larry Brown, ultimately continuing the downward spiral of his NBA career. After being bought out by the Knicks, Marbury would play a few games for the Celtics before leaving to play in China for the Beijing Ducks, leading the team to multiple CBA championships. Ray Allen. Ray Allen began his career in Milwaukee as the 5th pick after being traded from Marbury on draft night. Allen was so much more than his long-range abilities during his prime. He was a shot creator that could get to the rim at will and was responsible for a lot of his team's playmaking. Allen was later moved to the Seattle Supersonics in exchange for Gary Payton, where he formed a 1-2 punch with another future All-Star in Rashard Lewis to lead the Sonics to a postseason run in 2005. His move to the Boston Celtics in 2007 also impacted Allen's prime. He made 3 All-Star appearances in Boston, although his usage dropped with Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Rajon Rondo running most of the offense. While other prominent players have struggled when sliding into smaller roles, Allen demonstrated that he could be a plug-and-play player well before hitting his twilight years. Allen is a 2018 Hall of Fame inductee, 2-time NBA champion, ranked 2nd all-time in three-point shooting, and his signature moment is the corner 3 he nailed to force Game 7 of the 2013 NBA Finals. Antoine Walker. With the 6th overall pick, the Celtics selected Antoine Walker, who would have a very successful career in Boston. He made an immediate impact with the team, averaging over 20 points per game in 5 of his 7 seasons with the Celtics, even making 3 All-Star appearances. The 6'8" power forward should be one of the names mentioned when bringing up big men who took jumpers beyond the 3-point line before it was the norm, but Antoine Walker was more than just an outside volume shooter. He was a good passer for his size, finished in the post, and scored off the dribble as he totaled over 15,000 career points. Walker would play a key part in the Miami Heat's first championship run in 2006 after forgettable stints in Dallas, Atlanta, and a second run in Boston. He averaged 13 points as a reserve in the finals against his previous Mavericks squad and had a double-double in the deciding Game 6. Walker would end his career with stops in Minnesota and Memphis, as well as the NBA D-League, before retiring for good in 2012. Kobe Bryant. The second greatest shooting guard to ever play basketball came out of the '96 draft and was taken with the 13th pick and by a team that he would never even play for. The Charlotte Hornets picked high school player Kobe Bryant, who was later traded to the Los Angeles Lakers in exchange for Vlade Divac. With the Lakers, Kobe won 5 championships, was an All-Star 18 times, All-Star MVP 4 times, a 12-time All-Defensive Team member, and the 2008 MVP. He and Shaquille O'Neal established one of the NBA's most lethal duos, and to date, the league's last three-peat. The athletic shooting guard modeled his play after Michael Jordan, and in his latter years, reinvented his game, showcasing more skill when he won 2 more championships in 2009 and 2010. By the time his career was over in 2016, Kobe had accomplished a great deal more than just being a decorated champion and a top scorer. His Mamba mentality has inspired individuals from all kinds of backgrounds and served as a basis for many of today's NBA players. Kobe unfortunately isn't with us anymore, yet his legacy will live on for many generations to come. Peja Stojakovic. People tend to forget how good Peja Stojakovic was just because of the Hall of Fame players picked in his draft class. Stojakovic was taken 3rd overall in 1996, although he didn't play in the NBA until 1999. He broke out in 2000-2001 after a few seasons as a solid role player when the Kings became a title contender and rival to the Shaq and Kobe-led Los Angeles Lakers. While Sacramento couldn't advance to the finals due to some controversy, Peja was developing into one of the league's premier scorers. His most productive season came in 2003-2004 when he established career highs in scoring and rebounds while shooting 43% from 3 and 92% from the free throw line. Stojakovic was moved to the Pacers following his 8-year tenure with the Kings and bounced around the league with the New Orleans Hornets and Toronto Raptors. He signed with the Dallas Mavericks during the 2010-2011 season, where he would come off the bench to help the team achieve their first championship in franchise history and retired after the series. Steve Nash. When the Suns selected Steve Nash with the 15th overall pick in the '96 draft, he wasn't all that well known and they already possessed point guards Kevin Johnson and Sam Cassell. Nash wouldn't find his footing until 2000-2001, after spending 2 years as a reserve in Phoenix and getting traded to the Dallas Mavericks. He developed into an all-star and one of the league's top point guards when he teamed up with dynamic big man Dirk Nowitzki. Nash would find his way back to Phoenix in 2004 as a more polished NBA player when Mavs owner Mark Cuban refused to offer him the long-term contract that he sought. While leading the Suns, he earned back-to-back MVP honors in 2005 and 2006 and was the engine for head coach Mike D'Antoni's 7-second or less offense, which was the blueprint for the way the NBA is played today. Nash retired in 2015 following an injury-plagued tenure with the Los Angeles Lakers, got the Hall of Fame nod in 2018, and is a member of the NBA's 75th anniversary team. Jermaine O'Neal. It's important to keep in mind that in 1996, athletes entering the draft straight out of high school was a novelty. Jermaine O'Neal was another prep standout who went directly to the pros after Kevin Garnett broke the barrier in 1995, and Kobe Bryant became the first high school guard picked in 1996. O'Neal's career wasn't as successful as KG's or Kobe's, and it took him a while to get established, but he ended up becoming a 6-time All-Star. Before being dealt to Indiana, he was an end-of-the-bench player for a deep and talented Portland Trail Blazers team. O'Neal was filling in for a quality player in Dale Davis on a Pacers squad that had just reached the NBA Finals, but he rapidly won over fans when he finally showed off his potential. Over a 4-year span, he was a 20-point-per-game scorer, but injuries and the infamous Malice in the Palace incident kept the Pacers from returning to the finals. Before retiring, O'Neal would play for 5 different NBA teams and would become one of the faces of the Big Three basketball league. Ben Wallace. After not being drafted in 1996, Ben Wallace would find a spot with the Washington Bullets, slowly proving himself as a defensive presence in the paint. He would be dealt to the Orlando Magic in 1999, where he'd start 81 games. After 1 season, he'd be dealt with another 1996 undrafted player Chucky Atkins to the Detroit Pistons in the sign-and-trade deal that sent superstar Grant Hill to Orlando, where he'd become an all-star player in Detroit. He would win the Defensive Player of the Year award 4 times, be selected to the All-NBA team 5 times, earned 2 rebounding titles, 2 Eastern Conference championships, and the NBA championship in 2004. While Ben Wallace wasn't the most gifted offensive talent, he shined on the defensive end, which was on full display during the NBA Finals against powerhouse Shaquille O'Neal. He also had a significant role in one of the league's craziest incidents, the Malice at the Palace. Wallace was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2021, becoming the first undrafted player to accomplish that feat. Comment down below and let me know your favorite player from the 1996 NBA Draft. Also, support the channel by checking this video out, and don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. Thank you guys for watching. See you all next time. Peace out.